It's Wednesday again, our favorite day. Happy hump day. You know, I was going to dress down for once. I was like, you know what? I don't always have to be so glamorized, but I just couldn't do it. This is a date. I love you. I respect you. I want to get dressed for you, bitch. That is what you deserve. You deserve someone who wants to get dressed for you, who wants to show off their outfit. And I just dress for success. So when I do Dear Juju, you're going to get a glamour puss. I know I say this every week, but we have so much to get into. Let's get into it. Hello, world. Come inside the Dear Juju podcast. All right, I don't know if you follow me on social media, but I reposted something. I swear damn near a couple hundred people sent this to me. It was of Kate Hudson doing Dear Kate with Bustle magazine. This is not her creative. She even said, oh my God, this is so much fun. I want to do this, meaning that they gave it to her. It is not about Kate Hudson. Now listen, I didn't start the word dear. It's like a letter. It's an advice column. It's not fucking, the most genius thing in the world. I do want to tell you how Dear Juju got started. Enter in the wavy things. So it was 2010. Oh my God, 15 years ago. Jesus Christ. And I was a former professional dancer. I was on tour with the Black Eyed Peas. I was Skyping my boyfriend at the time, hence the term 2010. Even now when people say Zoom, I still say Skype. So I was Skyping my boyfriend at the time. I was in my hotel room on tour, and then I hear a knock at the door. It was one of the dancers. Juch, this is what's going on with my boyfriend. He did this and she did this. What do you think? And I was like, girl, no, fuck that. This is what you tell him. Then I sent her on along the way, came back to the Skype. Another knock at the door. I was like, hold on, another dancer. Juge, my mother-in-law is coming in town. I want to show her a good time. Where's the hottest place to eat? What's the hottest thing to drink? What are we doing? I said, start at cocktails here, move over to here for the restaurant. This is what you're going to order. Wear a vibe. Then she's probably older, so you could go see this. Gave her the whole itinerary for a fabulous day in LA. Then I go back to Skyping. I shit you not, third knock in a row. One of the tour team, it was management, I think, came and asked me, my sister's coming in town. I really want to make her a good dish when she lands. What do I make for her? I'm like, this is what you do. Everyone knows that I'm just a gastronomy glamour puss. So I go sit down for the third time. And my boyfriend at the time was like, damn. You are like the new Dear Abby. You are who everyone comes to for advice. And I said, I know, but not Dear Abby, bitch, Dear Juju. Okay. I shit you not, a pull in my gut, like a pregnant pool was like, oh shit, this is who I naturally am. This is what I naturally do. People come to me for advice on cooking, cocktails, entertainment, decor, relationship advice. I'm Dear Juju. And Dear Juju was born. It also got compounded by the fact that I would have all these women in my kitchen. I would be cooking for them. We would be drinking and dancing. I would be teaching them about orange wine, some certain rosés, some certain other cocktails. I would be making them a gorgeous dish while we would be bullshitting over relationship advice. We would be talking about decor and all things kind of domestic goddess, glamour, pussy. And it's something that I was like, this is who I am. This is what I do. I want to bring this to the world. This is my world, and I want to share my world with everyone. So that is Dear Juju's origin story. It's Genesis, if you will. And it just was a confirmation going back to Kate Hudson and the Bustle and Dear Kate. They even damn near copied the script. But it's my confirmation that these creatives, because you never know who follows you. I get hundreds of sent things on my videos all the time, and you just don't know. And I'm in the advertising industry. Like, that's what I do. My mommy job is I'm a commercial choreographer. So I know tons of ad people, creative directors, producers. Like, those are my friends and my family. I don't think I would be hyping myself too much to say that maybe someone saw something somewhere. But for me, I take it as a flattery. I take it as a compliment, and I take it as I'm on the right path. This is what comes naturally to me, and I'm just going to keep doing me. You know what I mean? Like, here's how I think about it. There's so many singers, right? There's Beyonce, there's Taylor Swift, there's Chappell Roan, there's the Brat Girl, there's the Coffee Espresso Girl. Like, I'm old when I be saying that. But there's country girls. There's so many singers. And then you pick which one you want, right? At what time? And I think that's like, if someone wants to start Dear Kate, Dear Juju, Dear Chelsea Handler, I know she has one, a Dear Penelope, a Dear Sarah, a Dear, till Kingdom Come, that's fine by me because they ain't going to do it how we do it here. That's why, again, I could not wear sweats or a t-shirt. No shade, but a t-shirt. Moving on. I've had so many situations come up since we last talked, so I'm going to try to fit them all in. First is I went to a friend's birthday party, a friend being the mother of my son's friend in their group. It was a nice way to meet a bunch of people, but I was really tired, but I was like, I got to go because I need to get out there and I need to get involved and make new friends. So I wore flats. Now, in LA, I don't know if you know this, most people, I would say mostly, are short. That's just the way it is. Like, people in the entertainment industry, especially, are just kind of shorter. But then you also have a lot of Jewish people, Italians, Latinos, Asians. They can be short too. Bitch, I walked into that party and these Aryan, blue-eyed, blonde hair motherfuckers were so tall. I literally looked like the brown nugget just walking through a sea of 6-foot solid vanilla motherfuckers. It was hilarious. I was looking at tits and clavicles all night going, yeah, so what do you do? I was the shortest one and the brownest one there. And you know what? That's because I'm the shit. Okay. So while I was at this friend's party, I got a little tipsy. They kept pouring me bubbles and bubbles and bubbles. And you're thinking I'm walking home. Come on, keep it coming. And one of my school moms, I said, how long you guys been together? And they said, oh, we are very happily unmarried. And so I asked them because I was genuinely curious. I said, oh, you guys aren't married, but you have kids and you just decided to date forever? And they were like, yeah, this is our choice. We were married before. We don't ever want to get married again. And this is like our round 2 and we're just keeping it cute. And I said, can I ask you a question? Because your oldest and my oldest are the same age. They just turned, 6 to 7. How often a month is a happily unmarried couple fucking? How often you getting it in? And don't you know, this British lady went beet red. And I said, oh, I'm sorry if I embarrassed you, but this is who I am. And she said, oh, well, at least once a week, maybe once every other week. The husband done piped in because everyone was laughing and she went red and I think he saw her uncomfortableness. And he said, what's the question? And I said, oh, hey. I said, I want to know, since we both have kids that are the same age, are unmarried couples getting it in more than married couples? This is just a general consensus. I'm doing my own data here, okay? And he said, we get it in once a month if we're lucky. And she's like, no. He was like, yeah. And she was like, clearly he wants more. And he was like, of course I want more. And she was like, menopause. And he was like, well, not all the time. I started a fight that you could tell they were like, we're going to fucking talk about this later. And I literally was like, okay, I was just trying to break the ice. I was trying to, have some fun. And I just forget that people aren't as open and as honest as I am all the time. Could tell they were both like, I'm going to fucking talk to you later when we're not in front of all these friends. Got it? You know that energy of like, shut the fuck up. Moms can do that so well with their eyes of like, I told you. My son is actually having a play date with them after school. So I'm going to see them in a little bit. I probably should say, I hope I didn't start a fight that night. I was just taking data to see if you guys got it in more or less than us. I'm going to reiterate it in a sober situation and hopefully that'll smooth it over. Now, the Oscars happened and my mom was trying to ask me, have you seen this movie? Have you seen this movie? Did you see this? And I'm like, I'm a mom, okay? I don't know if you remember what it's like to be a mom of young kids that are 7 and 4, but bitch, we don't see shit. We see Sing 2, we see Sonic the Hedgehog, and I will be damned if I take a kid to see a movie without a bar inside the movie theater. This is our life. So I will wake up and join society maybe in another 7 years, but until then, it is Aperol spritzes and fucking Lego. Actually, no lie, that Lego, what, Piece by Piece, Pharrell Williams, you guys, if you're around in your 40s, late 30s, early 40s, that shit was a banger. So I was in LA when I saw it. I thought I was seeing a Lego movie. Like, I didn't know that it was actually the Pharrell Williams biography. So I'm 2 spritzes deep because they got a bar in the movie theater. Bitch, they start playing Snoop. I am in there like, oh shit, this is my shit. It is the best film if you ever want to take your kids and also get a part of a little bit of your young adultness and get that feeling back. Watch the Piece by Piece Lego movie. That shit is fire. But yeah, I ain't seeing no artistic films. I'm not seeing what's on the Oscars. Damn near, I'm in London. I can't even see the Oscars because it came on at like 3 o'clock in the morning or some shit like that. Out the loop right now with the pop culture of what's going on in the Hollywoods in that scenario. No, we ain't seeing it. Not when you're a mom. It's just, and not when you're trying to start an empire and do the damn thing and stay up on what's new in cocktails and wine and decor. And you just don't have time to go, oh, let's see a movie. I don't have time for that. I also got to clean this freaking house. You know what I mean? I still got caftans on ice. You guys, 20% off. Hit me up if you want a caftan. Okay, it's still going. My mom has them in America, so I'll ship them to you from the States. Let me know. Spring is coming. Summer is coming. The caftans want to be caftanning. You don't want to be going to those places in the spring and summer with a freaking pants on. Trust me. Lastly, I have to talk about a situation that I really want to reiterate to you guys because I had such a problem with it. Not such a problem. What's the right word? Internal struggle, I would say. And I stood up for myself and I spoke up for myself and I did the right thing. And I just hope that it will inspire you to do the same. A friend who has been so lovely to me assumed a situation that I would do for them. And in my gut, when that situation came up, I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. And I kind of put it off and I kind of sat with it and I was like, what's happening? Okay. And it doesn't matter what the situation is. That's why I'm not going into details, because if I went into details, you'd be like, well, that's not anything like my situation. My point is, anyone in your friend circle that either assumes that you want to do something, forces you to do something, tries to manipulate you to do something, and in your gut, you just don't want to do it, don't fucking do it. I went back to an old pattern of mine in my body and in my ways, and I was like, I'll just lie. And then I thought, you know what? I just had a birthday. I am fucking 42 years old. I'm not lying anymore. This is who I am. This is what I am. And I'm going to call you and tell you I'm not coming. And I'm going to be honest with you and authentic. Because sometimes I like to say a fib so that I don't have to do the confrontation. And I know it's not always what I preach here, but this is a really close friend that had done just so much for me that I felt obligated to do what they were asking in return, even though I didn't want to. So it was very layered. And I was reminded that the fact that when it comes to friendships, business, friendships, family, lovers, it doesn't matter. It should be okay to always say no. And I think women in general have a harder time with saying no. We tend to be people pleasers. We want everyone to like us. We don't want to be seen as like the bitch or difficult or selfish. And so I asked her to call me. She couldn't call me. She was working. So I sent a text and I said, well, let me prep you. And if you have to get it out over a text or an email, I think that that's okay. You know, because I think, of course, you want to do it face to face, eye to eye over FaceTime. But sometimes people are a little bit in shock when you're doing a big pull the rug, confrontation kind of situation. Now, mind you, I had said, yeah, sure, let's go. And then I was like, I am saying yes up here and my gut is saying no down here. I am being incongruent. So I have to let her know that I actually really don't want to go. So I think it's good to send a text or an email if you say, can we please talk after this? I wanted to prep you. I know this is a little bit of a shock, but I need to be honest. This is how I'm feeling. We got it out. She understood. we're all good. And that's a sign of a good friend to go, I understand, no problem. We'll catch you on the flip side. I also made an alternative. And I think that's also really important. And say, I'm not really feeling great right now, but I would love to meet up with you next week when our schedules align. I'd love to take you out to lunch. Offer like an olive branch as an alternative to, I'm not trying to say no and just like leave you high and dry. It's just a no for me right now. Now me, you can say no to me all the time unless you literally call and you're like, I don't feel it and you've hung me out to dry. Then you just better pay back the fucking tickets, you know? But mostly you can always say no to me. I'm easy to say no to. A lot of the most mentally healthy people are the most mentally flexible. So if someone is not letting you say no to them, that is a sign of mentally they're not in a great place. And I called one of my girlfriends and I explained the situation. I said, do you think I'm being selfish? And they reiterated, it is never selfish to set a boundary, stand up for yourself for something that doesn't feel right. And I was like, that's absolutely true. And then they were having the same scenario with one of their girlfriends. She wrote an email, and unlike my relationship, which is nice and healthy and they're understood, the girl was like, how dare you? Me. And I think it's really important to get into conflict, to stand up for yourself, to set these boundaries, and to express your authentic self, to see how people respond. Because how people respond is either I keep them or I let them go. Yeah, sure, I understand. No worries. We'll meet up when things are cooled down and you feel better. I'll hit you up next month. What do you think? Great. Right? If someone responds with this, and you are so and attacking, let them go. You should always be able to say no to your friends. No. And I'm 42 with 2 little kids. If you invite me somewhere, unless it's easy to do 9 times out of 10, even without little kids, I don't want to go. I've been this way ever since I was in my 20s. I don't want to go. I don't want to do your thing. I don't want to make it happen. I am so happy in my Dear Juju world and in my own bubble. I could catch up on the new White Lotus series on Netflix. I could see some of those Oscar movies. Like I could do so much besides what you want me to do. No, I don't want to do it. But I just had to reiterate because that was a big thing for me. And even when we called and talked on the phone, I was a little like had a knot in my stomach doing it because I didn't want to seem like a bad friend because they've been such a good friend to me. But it's hard when someone's so good to you and you still have to set the boundaries. Now they know me. Now they know I'm not going to invite her. That bitch don't want to come. Great. Now you know me. If you want to be my friend, to be my friend is to know me. And so hopefully that inspires you to never feel bad for saying no. Make sure that you're living a congruent life where your mouth and your gut are in sync. And I think that's the problem too, is I've had a knee-jerk reaction of saying, okay, and my gut going, no, and me going, oh, yeah. And now I think what I'm hopefully next time this happens going to learn to do is to say, I need to have a think about this. That no that's coming up, learn to deal with it, give it space, honor it, and not just word vomit people pleasing. And then they know that I am on pause, that I'm a maybe, that I'm going, oh, something feels funny. And then I can articulate how to say no in a very kind and loving way. But what I really want to say is, no, fuck no. I don't want to fucking do that. Hell no. Hell no. But that's not socially acceptable because you can't say that. Otherwise, you'd be a fucking crazy person. So it's gotten me in trouble in the past, but I was so proud of myself because I just did it and I'm going to get better at it. I have no problem telling people no on the outside, but if you're in the inner circle, I love you so much and I want to be there for you. Sometimes it's at the cost of what my gut is saying and no more, but I was proud of myself. And if you're saying no, I'm fucking proud of you. All right, now with all that, let's get into some domestic honestness. So Rocco had a birthday this week and his little crush's dad sent over with his present and his birthday party Welsh cakes. Have you ever heard of these? They're almost in between a pancake and a cookie. They harden to almost a cookie type consistency. They were divine. This is a 200-year-old recipe from his grandmother's grandmother's grandmother that he just passed down and gave to me, because I was like, those Welsh cakes were so divine and would be so good to have with English breakfast tea. Can you please send me a recipe? So many people have been inviting us over. I feel the need, when they're being so kind and so generous, to bake them homemade things to say thank you. So I think this is what I'm going to do, is to make them, wrap them, give them out to the people who've invited us over and had Rocco over and spent time together. So these are how you make Welsh cakes. Now you want them 12 millimeters thick, whatever the hell that is. So you have 1 pound self-raising flour, half a pound salted butter, 2 eggs, 6 ounces castor sugar. Castor sugar is really fine sugar. You can find it in really big grocery stores in the US. 6 ounces of sultanas, that's what they call raisins, and mixed spice to taste. Mixed spice in the UK, I feel like, is our pumpkin spice. It's got cinnamon, coriander seed, caraway, nutmeg, ginger, cloves, allspice, okay? So kind of like a pumpkin spice. So what you do is you mix together the flour and the butter, crumbling the two together, just like the beginning of a dough. Then you mix together the mixed spice, the sugar, the raisins, add the 2 eggs. So at this point, you're definitely going to have like a bready cookie consistency. So you want them almost half an inch thick, and you roll them out. Then with a cookie cutter, you cut them out. Circular, you can get a flower one, whatever you want. But that'll give you, with the ingredients that I gave you, 36 little Welsh cakes. Now, here's the really interesting part. You griddle them. You don't bake them. And that's why I said it's somewhere in between a pancake and a cookie. Put butter in your pan, do 6 at a time. When they're slightly browned, you flip them over. Then when they feel a little bit gooey in the center, then you take them off. You need them to cool for about 15 to 20 minutes to kind of firm up and get that kind of cookie texture. Cookie? Pancake? All them spices and raisins? It is so beautiful to have with afternoon tea or a sweet treat. That's something that's really nice that you can cook someone and bring over to their house as a thank you, besides a banana bread or a chocolate chip cookie. Try these Welsh cakes next, okay? I'll be doing it as well. I'll be doing it as Welsh. I'm always doing research. I subscribe to magazines of cocktails and gastronomy and decor magazines. And you guys, there's a cocktail right now called The Moment that I don't know about you, but is having a moment with me. Okay? Google it. The Moment. I'm going to tell you what's in it. So you serve this in a Collins glass. I love things that you serve in a Collins glass. There's some Culver ones that I've had my eye on for such a long time. So light white rum. You can switch that out for gin if you want, which I do. And then pomegranate juice, lemon juice, freshly squeezed, Amaro, a little bit of cane sugar syrup, and top it with extra dry Prosecco. If you're having Easter, that would be so fabulous. Get you some vintage Culver glasses on Etsy and make that pomegranate juice, a little bit of syrup, some lemon juice, Amaro, gin, Prosecco. Bitch, that will get you your Easter time hunting egg, mother having, loving. That will be the best party you've ever had. It's called The Moment, and it's having a moment. Decor, to taxidermy or not taxidermy? That is not the question. I say it's not the question because I fucking love taxidermy, and this is what I'm always into. There are certain classic things in decor, if you want a grand space, that you just got to get into. 1, marble. 2, wallpaper. 3, herringbone your tiles or wood floors. 4, pattern. 5, color. 6, taxidermy. Okay? Not exactly in that order, but these are classic things to make a room grand. You know, I had a deer, I don't know if you know this, but my husband, when he went to Texas, got indoctrinated into their culture and my sister and my brother-in-law's friend group, and he went shooting and shot a deer. I know, PETA fucking come from me, but this is where I'm from. This is the culture of Texas where I'm from. They put the blood on his freaking forehead and we ate the deer. Okay. And we taxidermied that deer and I sold it at my estate sale because I was like, I'm done with the deer. I'm ready for a peacock. Or I told you last week I'm into tigers. I'm ready for a tiger too. Don't get me a baby cub. I'll taxidermy that motherfucker all the way. If it's vintage, I feel like it's not as bad. I've always wanted a peacock or a flamingo, bitch. Now, if you're not into taxidermy, statues. Italians do it so good. This 1970s ceramic Italians of cheetahs, leopards, jaguars, and flamingos, dogs. Look in your room right now and see if you can get a statue as well, if you're not into taxidermy. But I'm telling you what I'm into. I want a peacock taxidermy. PETA, don't come for me. Okay, moving on. Now let's get into some Q&A with some TNA. Dear Juju, my in-laws drop by unannounced constantly. I love them so much and we get along great, but how do I enforce boundaries without causing a family scandal? I can't tell my husband because he loves the fact that they live so close and just come by unannounced. What do you think? Love your podcast. Always can't wait for Wednesdays. And then they sign sincerely. I'm going to tell you one, and you have to be ready for this, okay? If you love them, but they come by unannounced, create a scenario where they will never come by unannounced again. How do you do that? If you see them pulling up and you're like, God dang it, they're here again. What I want you to do, maybe all of a sudden be sunbathing topless in the front yard, in your little garden area, if you have it, where they can come in and you go, oh my God. And then say, once you get dressed, guys, I love you so much, but I need a warning before you come by unannounced. Okay? This is my house and we need to make sure that we're home or we're not doing something crazy. And you need to ask me if it's okay to come by and I will let you know. But if you stage that and your father-in-law sees your tits, I guarantee you they will never drop by unannounced again. Okay? Dear Juju, my husband at night snores, hogs the blanket, and it's leading me to sleep in a separate place all the time. Me too. Is it wrong to want a separate bedroom, or do you think that this could be a hinge in our relationship? What do you think? Okay. My husband does the same thing. First of all, my husband squirrels at night. He pees a million times. He has a hard time sleeping. He gets up. Then my kids wake me up like, no, you've got to have your sleep, because if you don't have your sleep, you will have nothing. I don't think it's wrong at all. First of all, I would say get your own blanket and get a white noise. Try that first if you want to stay in the room with him. I'm also a light sleeper. So my husband knows if I go sleep with a separate bedroom, but I tell him, like, honey, I need a really good night's sleep. You've kept me up for the past 3 nights. I'm going to go sleep in the separate bedroom because I need a good one. I love cuddling you, but I also love my beauty sleep more. So if you tell him, I think it's fine. Like, you're a shitty sleeper and I'm a light sleeper. This is just the way it is. We don't have to fucking be right next to each other all the time. And go get your beauty sleep. You know, communication. Hopefully he won't get butthurt. It's okay to say no. I ain't sleeping with you tonight. And let him know. This is honestly something that we live with all the time. And I think I've talked about this in one of the other podcasts. We dream about having 2 separate bedrooms. That is like, I could come down, I could get cozy in my bed, I could watch whatever I want, listen to whatever I want. It's a dream. No, you just go for the gold, honey. Separate bedrooms, I think, might be the key to a long and loving relationship. Okay, last one. Dear Juju, my dinner parties are legendary, but I have to say, when we move into the dining room, my dining room looks more drab than fab. What is the easiest way to make it feel fabulous? Period, the end, paragraph, wallpaper, and paint. I'm going to tell you what to do. It's so easy. Look at all the Pinterest boards. First of all, get crown molding and put in a chair rail. And if you want, go to Amazon and get those foam, if you can't afford the real wainscoting or whatever it's called, wainscoting, and get you some molds. Then shiny lacquer or like a satin, paint the chair rail and all the cutout molding in the bottom, the square rectangle molding, put it all spaced apart. The ones on Amazon are so good. They're foam. You peel off the back and you put them on like a sticker. Okay? Nothing quicker than a sticker. What you're going to paint that is a complementary color to the wallpaper that's above. Okay? The most fabulous places in the world that I've been to where they've had interior designers that they're paying crazy freaking money for. all do it. They get a gorgeous wallpaper or a peel and stick wallpaper. If you don't want to pay that kind of wallpaper money, fine by me. You get a fab one. You pull out a fun, funky color. You put up a chair rail and you paint that in a glossy or a satiny. Then chandelier, honey. That's how I say chandelier. Chandelier. We need a chandelier, darling. We need a chandelier. Look for one on Facebook Marketplace. Make sure it's gorgeous, it's grand, and it's got sparkle. I would go with a classic, which we just got for our conservatory. I would go with a classic French basket chandelier that's got those crystals all the way throughout. It's got the gold around, and that is something that is just going to wow your guest. Those 3 tricks: chair rail, painting below, wallpaper the 3/4 that's above, and put in a new chandelier, you're done. Okay, you can always get a tablecloth, chairs, flowers, all of that you can switch around. That's all I got for you today. I'm starving. I have to go to Pop Pilates that I'm going to with my other girlfriend. Oh my God, just making so many friends. I need to sweat out all the booze. I have 6 weeks, T-minus 6 weeks until I go to the Amalfi Coast, and I will be damned if I'm this big. Cut the booze, cut the sugar, and get cuts in my legs. So I'm going to go to a hot Pilates where I can kind of start to feel good and twist it all out. So I got to wipe off all this makeup. I love you. Don't forget that saying no is so important to live a congruent life within you. If that bitch or that motherfucker tries to make you feel bad for saying no, cut them out like the cancer that they are. I love you. You're a star. Act like it, walk like it, dress like it. I'll see you next week, and I'm out. Mwah!